Welcome to Wisdom Sessions. I'm Zoe, and today we're exploring one of the most painful questions of the human heart. When someone says they love you, but chooses to stay with someone else, what does that really mean? And how do we find ourselves again after such betrayal? With us today is the Master, whose wisdom has helped countless souls navigate the deepest wounds of love and loss. Master, thank you for being here.
It is always a joy to be here, Zoe. Love and pain are two sides of the same coin, and today we will explore both.
We have 5 questions today from people who are struggling with betrayal, guilt, and the search for true love. Let's begin. Our first question is from a young woman, 29 years old. She writes, I fell in love with a married man who promised to leave his wife for me. I got pregnant and gave birth to his child, but then he said he can't leave his wife. He said as long as he doesn't marry me, he can do whatever else he wants. Now I'm raising the baby alone, rejected by my family. Master, he said he loved me. How can someone claim to love and still cause such deep pain?
My dear child, you have touched upon one of the greatest confusions of humanity. People mistake love for a promise, for a lifelong commitment, but love promises nothing. Love is simply a moment of overwhelming feeling, a breeze that comes, stirs the heart, and then moves on. When that man said, I love you, he may have been completely truthful in that moment. The heart can be sincere even when it lacks courage. You see, loving for a moment doesn't mean one is mature enough to live an entire life in that love. This is the tragedy of immature love. Let me explain what happened inside this man. He was passionate, he was moved, perhaps even deeply touched by you. But underneath that passion was something else. Fear. Fear of losing his comfort, his security, his familiar nest. His wife represents habit, duty, the known world. You represented the flame, warm and radiant, yes, but also frightening. People don't actually fear love, you understand. They fear the price of loving truly. To love deeply, one must die. Die to the ego, die to comfort, die to everything familiar. One must become completely vulnerable, completely open. This man was not ready for that death, and so he chose the safer path. Now, is he evil? No, he is weak, and that weakness is the illness of almost all of humanity. Everyone wants true love, everyone dreams of it, but very few dare to actually live it. Because to live it means to risk everything, to stand naked before existence, to let go of all securities. This is what you must understand. His choice to stay with his wife was not about you being insufficient. It was about him being too frightened to step into the unknown. You offered him transformation, but he chose familiarity. You offered him true love, but he chose comfortable attachment.
That's profound, Master. So when someone chooses comfort over love, it's really about their own fear, not about the worth of the person they're leaving behind. Our second question builds on this. The same woman asks, Master, I gave him a child, believing it would bind us together. Now I'm raising this child alone while he lives in peace with his wife. Some people tell me I was foolish and I deserve this. Where is justice? Why can those who hurt others live in peace while the innocent carry pain forever?
Ah, justice. This is where we must go very deep. You see, the awakened person does not ask, why did this happen to me? The awakened person asks, what is this trying to teach me? There is a tremendous difference between these two questions. Justice is not about receiving exactly what we gave to others. That is revenge, that is tit for tat. Real justice is receiving the lesson our soul needs for its growth. And sometimes, my child, the deepest growth comes through the deepest pain. Now you think this man is living in peace? I tell you, he is living in his own prison. He may not show it outwardly, but inside him there is a slowly growing emptiness. When you betray another person, you first betray your own soul. When you abandon your truth, you abandon yourself. One day, maybe in months, maybe in years, this man will face his own emptiness. Not through external punishment, but through the silent, creeping loneliness of his own heart. He will look at his comfortable life and feel nothing. He will lie next to his wife and feel utterly alone. This is the natural consequence of living without courage. But you, my child, you have been given something far more valuable than what you think you lost. When you lose everything external, when there is no one left to cling to, when you must stand alone with only yourself, then a miracle becomes possible. You begin to discover who you really are. Pain does not come to destroy you. Pain comes to peel away illusion. It comes to show you this fundamental truth. Love is not about being chosen by someone else. Love is when you choose yourself. When you become so whole, so complete within yourself, that another person's presence is beautiful but not necessary. So where is justice? Justice is that through this suffering, you have the opportunity to become truly free. Justice is that you can now learn what real love means, not the dependent, clinging love you had before, but the love that flows from your own fullness.
Beautiful. So pain can be the doorway to discovering our true self, if we're willing to walk through it. Master, this leads to our third question, which this woman asks with great anguish. After making this mistake, am I still worthy of love? I feel dirty, sinful, and unworthy. I brought shame upon my family and caused my mother's illness. How can someone who has been so lost still deserve to be loved?
My beloved child, listen very carefully to what I am about to say. No one lives without mistakes. Someone who has never made a mistake has never truly lived. They have simply been too afraid to live, too cautious to ever take a risk, too dead to ever feel truly alive. Guilt is not evil in itself. Guilt is simply a red light, a warning signal that you have strayed from your own truth. If you have the courage to look at that guilt, to understand it, and to turn back toward your truth, then that guilt becomes the seed of wisdom. It becomes the fertilizer for your growth. Do not be ashamed that you loved the wrong person. Instead, be grateful that you have known love, even once, even in error, even in pain. Many people live their entire lives without ever feeling that depth of emotion. You felt it. Yes, it brought you suffering, but it also brought you alive. Now, about being worthy of love. Here is something you must understand deeply. As long as you think you need to be worthy of love, you have not understood what love is. Love is not a reward for good behavior. Love is not something you earn by being pure or perfect or sinless. True love, the love that matters, is not about being chosen by another person. True love is a state of being. It is when you have become so accepting of yourself, so compassionate toward your own humanity, so understanding of your own journey, that you no longer need anyone else's approval to feel whole. And here is the paradox. The moment you stop seeking love from others, the moment you stop trying to prove you are worthy, the moment you simply accept yourself completely as you are, with all your mistakes and all your wounds, in that very moment you become the most attractive person in the world. Because you are no longer needy, you are full, you are complete. So when you ask, am I still worthy of love? I say to you, drop this question entirely. Instead ask, can I love myself? Can I look at my wounds without pain? Can I see my mistakes and smile with understanding? When you can do this, when you can be that gentle and compassionate with yourself, then you have become the one that love itself seeks out.
That shift from seeking worthiness to simply accepting ourselves completely, that's revolutionary, Master. Our fourth question today is from David in Chicago. He writes, Master, I see this pattern everywhere. People say they love someone, but their actions something different. What is real love? How do we know when love is authentic and when it's just an illusion or manipulation?
David, you have asked a question that goes to the very root of human confusion. Real love and false love look similar on the surface, but they are as different as a real flower and a plastic flower. Both have color, both have form, but only one has fragrance, only one is alive. False love is need. False love says, I need you to be happy. I cannot be complete without you. I will die if you leave me. This is not love. This is addiction. This is using another person as a drug to avoid facing your own emptiness. And when your drug says it might leave, you panic, you manipulate, you promise anything. The man in our first question, he was in false love. He needed the excitement of the young woman, but he also needed the security of his wife. He wanted to consume both, to use both for his own fulfillment. This is why his love could not be trusted. It was not really love. It was greed disguised as love. Real love is completely different. Real love says, I love you, and because I love you, I want your highest good, even if that means letting you go. Real love is not possession. Real love is freedom. Real love says, I am complete in myself, and from that completeness, I share my joy with you. Let me give you a simple test. If someone truly loves you, they will be consistent. Their words and actions will align. They will not promise one thing and do another. They will not say, I love you while abandoning you, because real love is integrated. There is no split between the heart that feels and the hand that acts. Also, real love will make you more free, not less. If someone's love is making you smaller, more dependent, more insecure, more confused, that is not love, that is bondage. Real love makes you more yourself, more confident, more expanded, more joyful. Real love is liberating. So how do you recognize the illusion? Simple. If love brings anxiety, if it brings constant worry, if you must always be proving yourself, if you must always be afraid of losing it, then it is not real love. It is fear pretending to be love. Real love brings peace. Real love brings trust. Real love brings a deep relaxation in the heart.
So real love expands us and gives us freedom, while false love contracts us and creates dependency. That's a beautiful distinction. Our final question comes from the same young woman who wrote to us initially. She says, Master, I hear your wisdom, and it touches something deep in me. But I'm drowning in so much pain. How do I actually begin to choose myself? How do I start to rebuild my life when I have lost everything, love, family, support, dignity? Where do I even begin?
My dear child, you begin exactly where you are. You begin in this moment of pain, in this moment of loss, in this moment of absolute darkness. Because you see, it is only when we reach the bottom that we can finally push off and swim toward the light. First, stop running from your pain. This is crucial. Right now, you want the pain to go away. You want to forget. You want to escape. But pain is a messenger. Sit with it. Feel it completely. Let yourself cry. Let yourself grieve. Let yourself feel the full weight of what has happened. This is not weakness. This is courage. When you fully feel your pain without trying to escape it, something miraculous happens. The pain begins to transform. It becomes a teacher. It shows you where you were lying to yourself, where you were dependent, where you were asleep. Every tear washes away a layer of illusion. Second, take responsibility, not blame. Understand this distinction. Responsibility means the ability to respond. It means you recognize that you had a part in creating this situation. You chose to trust someone who showed you signs of being untrustworthy. You chose to believe promises that were unrealistic. This is not about condemning yourself. This is about reclaiming your power. When you take responsibility, you realize that if you had the power to create this painful situation, you also have the power to create something different. You are not a victim. You are a creator who created something unconsciously. Now you can create consciously. Third, start small, but start now. Each morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am here. I am alive. I will take care of myself today. Feed yourself well. Rest when you are tired. Take care of your child with love. These simple acts of self-care are actually profound acts of self-love. You are saying to yourself, I matter. My well-being matters. Fourth, create a daily practice of silence. Just 15 minutes. Sit quietly, close your eyes and watch your breath. Don't try to change anything. Just watch. In that watching, you will start to discover something underneath all the pain, something that was never touched by this man, something that cannot be destroyed by anyone. you will discover your essential self. And finally, my child, understand this deeply. You have not lost everything. You have only lost your illusion of love. And that is not a loss, that is a gift. Because now, for the first time, you have the opportunity to discover what real love is. Not the dependent, clinging, needy love that you had before, but the love that comes from your own fullness. This journey will not be quick. Healing takes time, but I promise you this. If you walk this path with awareness, with courage, with compassion for yourself, you will emerge not broken, but transformed. You will become a woman who knows her own worth, who does not need anyone's validation, who can love without fear because she has discovered the source of love within herself. And when you reach that place, when you are standing firm on your own ground, radiating your own light, that is when real love will find you. Not the immature, fearful love of a man who cannot commit, but the mature, conscious love of someone who recognizes another whole being and celebrates that wholeness.
Master, that is such a complete roadmap for transformation, from feeling the pain fully to discovering the unbreakable self within. Thank you, Master. I think many people listening today will find hope in these words. The understanding that our deepest wounds can become doorways to our truest selves.
Remember, my friends, love is not about being chosen by another. Love is when you become so whole, so complete, that you no longer need anyone to complete you. And from that wholeness, real love becomes possible.
If today's session touched your heart, please subscribe to Wisdom Sessions, give us a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss these conversations. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the journey from pain to peace is not about forgetting what happened. It is about transforming who you are. Thank you for being with us today.
Be courageous, be loving, and most importantly, be yourself. Until next time.